You can just do command space displays.
So we start like in 5 minutes or something, or?
Oh, sure. I don't know.
I will see when
Somebody
people.
said 20.
It's at least 10 minutes behind, but
It's okay. Cool.
yeah, but it might be more. I'm just.
Yeah, that's okay. Then I will go back and mingle a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay, that's interesting. System settings, random preferences. Okay. There should be displays here. There we go. Which version of macOS is this?
I don't know.
I can check. Maybe let's wait. I will change it. Range. Yeah, okay, so this is what we need to change. Mirror, stop mirroring. And now we are good. Do you want to arrange it so it's somewhere else as opposed to here? Like you can put it on the left so it's more intuitive.
No, it's fine how it is here. That's good.
Yeah, perfect. And then now if you hit present, what I expect will happen.
Yeah, I think it's one of that, either full screen or view.
No, it didn't work out.
Got it. Yeah, that was good.
No, but it's not there anymore.
Oh, it's on there. It's
Is
just
it?
not full screen.
Okay.
Oh.
If you look there. Oof. Enter full screen mode. I see. Okay, you present full screen mode. You've done it, and there here you have your notes.
Thank you so much. Huh.
Amazing.
Phew, I won't have to handwrite them. Yay.
Over here, charging cable.
That's great.
DC cable disappeared. So
Yeah. Okay. And tell me, how are you connected to this society group? You're with DeSci London.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just closing down my current company and starting a few other, I'd like figure out what my next venture is going to be, but I have a bit of experience with creating accelerator programs for academics to help them commercialize research. And I've been kind of in the crypto space since 2014. So this seems like an area where I can contribute, and I got involved specifically to kick off an initiative around kind of peer learning formats for the local community. Like we're going to run a non-conference next month, and maybe some other things that are kind of in the works. So that's what I'm leading DeSci London-wise, and I'm just helping facilitate everything.
Okay.
For the day, yeah.
So you're living in
I
London.
live in London, yes. What about yourself? Where are you from?
I am from the Midwest in the United States,
Okay.
in Texas too. I'd throw that in there. And then I'm currently on a remote work travel program, so I'm living in Istanbul.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't been in Istanbul in so long.
Sorry, what?
I haven't been in Istanbul in ages yet.
No, it's so it's
I've
so
been many
amazing,
times,
right? Yeah. This is my first time, and I'm loving it. I might move back. I'm kind of city shopping, and I was like, wow,
I did
this
that
is
for the last 5 years. And
really.
I've been too nomadic. I'm trying to stop traveling at the moment, but I did accidentally spend 2 months in India just a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
Like I went for a wedding, missed my return flight, and stayed for 2 months.
I love that you, you're like an eat, pray, love. Like you're like, I just accidentally ended up in India for 2 months. Like that's a very traveler thing to say.
Perks and pitfalls of remote work, right? Because at that point when you get busy, it's easier to just stay where you are rather than figure out how to go somewhere.
Yeah, it's been so interesting. I just started like 6 months ago. I'm in my 7th month, and I'm in a traveling group.
Yeah.
So that's been very interesting, like socially and work-wise. And I have 6 more months left. So we all committed to a year.
Okay. Yeah.
And we go to a different country
But
every
is that
month.
kind of some kind of an organization or?
Yeah. It's just like a private travel company that puts it together. But they, you kind of like.
Seen that.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Are you gonna use your own charger?
No, actually, I can just do this. Right?
This one was having some problems. So do you want to now try? Because this I think is I gave them my small portable one.
Oh yeah, it doesn't really look like it
Let's
works.
try this one, but it's only 60 watts, and I think you have a bigger computer. So let's see if there's a little lightning here or just a plug. Where? Oh, yeah.
It looks like it's kind of working,
yeah,
but not the
little
lightning
battery
thing.
is low. Let's instead do this.
Okay.
And plug
Just
the
plug
work
in
in here.
Okay.
Like here, I have an adapter. This should work better now.
Yeah.
Just put this right here.
Yeah, that's
Actually, I'm moving
perfect.
this so it doesn't fall. Let me see what's decided on timings.
And these are all recorded online? Or someone can look back at it?
This is being recorded, but we're not streaming it. And we're gonna make this into YouTube videos afterwards for the channel.
Okay.
Although people, if you wanna connect somebody to that, it's online, but we are not sharing the link for it.
Got it.
And the other thing is live streamed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my team can't really watch today if they're not from, like, if they're not here. Or
They can. If you want, I can just, it's on Zoom. I can give you the Zoom link.
Oh, yeah,
But
that'd be great.
we haven't published it. It's publicly on
Oh,
purpose.
that'd be great. Okay.
We figured we wanna drive the live stream to a single stream rather than let's do a single track.
Got it. Okay.
And let me just see how this works now. Oh, somebody started the recording. Okay.
Oh, is that how they started?
No, it's I've been stopping it when there's nothing happening, but I think the AV team didn't. Never mind. Yeah, they keep restarting it in the break, so they're gonna cut it out afterwards. But yeah, no big. We should invite people. Where's the invite thing? Manage participants. Yeah, and then invite. See contacts, email. Interesting. Okay, these are all the rooms in the venue. I don't want to do that. There's a link here. There we go. So somehow, you know what? I can just email you the invite, and you can copy the link and give it to your colleagues. Okay. Can you type in your email here?
Yeah.
And then I'll just accept them in the meeting, and you'll be able to interact even if you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'll just forward the email, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You want me to keep an eye on the chat in case they want to contribute somehow, or they just want to watch passively?
Oh, what chat?
Like the Zoom chat.
Oh.
Because they'll get on a Zoom webinar thing, so they can ask questions if you want to.
Oh, I see. Sure. Yeah, if that's.
Okay, so I'll connect my phone to it as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we're starting in 5 minutes officially, but realistically, it's been difficult to get people out of the breaks, and we opted for allowing people to arrive rather than starting them up to them, so that's why we're
Okay.
schedule a bit.
Should I officially start then in 5 minutes?
I suggest we start in 8 minutes, but I'll go and round them up.
Okay.
So I think it's starting at 4 p.m.
Okay, sounds good.
So you're in town just for a few days?
Yeah, I'm until Tuesday afternoon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
First time in London, or have you been before?
Yeah, first
Okay.
time.
How are you enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. I was at the airport. I was having so much fun with the accents. Just looking around everywhere. I was like, wow.
It's the most international city in the world, I think.
Is it? It's like
way more than New York,
massive. Yeah. But
In terms of kind of people from different ethnicities who live here permanently, it's the most international city in the world, like by a long shot.
wow.
Like, for example, New York would come
Next.
kind of in the, well, I don't know if it's next, but it's in the top somewhere, but it's something like 70% as international. It's by some metric, like everybody hypes up their city, right?
Yeah.
So I've probably.
No, I was looking at London because I was looking at how large Istanbul was, which is like 2.3 Londons or something. Yeah. What?
Used to be a big. It's like officially London, I think, is about 7.5 million, but there are a lot more people on any given day here, probably around 10 that are not with a London residential address.
Wow.
But still small compared to the US hubs, right? I mean, how big is Austin? Is small, right? I mean, it's but I presume, is Dallas the biggest city in Texas? Or?
Houston might be, but Dallas is probably first or second. Yeah. This is on YouTube it's on.
It's not on YouTube yet. We will. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I think it's gonna get cut into clips that would get published on the YouTube channel of DeSci London afterwards. But at the moment, it's just a Zoom webinar because this is kind of the infrastructure in the room at the moment that we're using.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah. So nobody's logged in yet, but actually logged in.
Yeah, I just shared it. Little fingers are trying to copy and paste as fast as.
Recording in progress.
Okay, I'm gonna see.
但是你看我现在退的都没少。
Is this your?
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll make sure I'll get some more.
不是坏了，而是洗掉了。颜色好看啊！Sorry.
What did you think about the science lab?
Oh, yeah.
That's disgusting. Look, it was in the roses, but other than that, it had all the information. To be fair, it's a one case, but that's scary. Like, up to undergrad level, so that's quite scary. Yeah, that's kind of an upgraded version of what I he explained to her. Like upgraded version of ChatGPT. So.
Super quiet.
I know. I wanted to say something.
It's like church.
I was like, I don't bite. You all can. I think we'll just give it a couple minutes for people to filter in.
Continue the group meditation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I want you all to just close your eyes. Everyone take a deep breath. And release. Ooh, you can keep going on your own if you like.
Okay, we may start.
We
People are
start?
just gonna trickle in. You can't get them off their coffee. Everybody, let me introduce Lindsay from OpSci, who is a UX researcher and will tell us a little bit about some interesting things today, I'm sure. Do you want to come a bit to the front, or do you kind of like it there in the back so we can speak with a bit more volume? Or let's move around.
I'm feeling good today, I see.
A little calibration of the room. Who here is an academic or researcher, like academic specific scientist? Okay, who here is into building Web3 software in any way? Okay. What else is here? Like, what do you guys do? Data science?
I used to be a doctor, software engineer before.
Thank you. Thanks so much. So I'm very excited to be speaking today. My talk today is about a new technology that we developed at OpSci called Verse. My name is Lindsay Breier. I work on UX research and am the development lead for Verse at OpSci. And the goal of my presentation is twofold. It's to show how OpSci is empowering researchers around the world using Verse, and also to onboard the top 100 scientists in Web3 to this community. And this group includes you. So the agenda for today is first to add a little bit of value. So I'm going to talk about some of the problems that scientists often face, and then share a solution. So share how Verse offers scientists enhanced discoverability, funding opportunities, and connection. And lastly, I will walk you through the registration process for making a profile on Verse, so that if you do want to join our community, you are all set up to do so. We are a community of 700 individuals, and we're looking for even more scientists and other individuals to join our community. So what is Verse? The point of Verse is to create a public decentralized registry of verified academic contributions by linking off-chain academic web services on the blockchain. So what are scientists missing that stops them from working on projects that they actually care about or that will change the world? We spoke to 40 of the 700 members already in OpSci community, and these are the major barriers to scientific thriving that they shared with us. First, it's hard to build a scientific reputation that others can understand when there are too many disconnected and unverifiable platforms. Secondly, they're missing a community of collaborative scientists who are looking to impact the world together. Finally, scientists end up adapting their work to fit what grants have chosen to fund, rather than being found by investors and grant funders that are seeking them out. So that's why we invented Verse. Verse is a tool to support you in making your highest contribution to science. So what does Verse make available to you? With Verse, impact-driven research actually gets you more funding now. So essentially, you're rewarded for your impact. I'm Lindsay Breier, and again, the development lead for Verse. And the reason I'm talking with you today is because I don't know if you've spoken to one another yet, but you're all amazing. And one of my core values is community and connecting people. And what Verse is doing that I'd love for all of you to participate in is creating a community of scientists who are actually working on the projects they care about easier and more globally than ever before. And that's the power of Verse. We have a team from around the world, and by the end of this small conversation that we're having, I sincerely hope you'll join our community. So I am representing for 8 people on the Verse team today. Again, I do UX research with Verse, so I'm really excited about your feedback on the product that I'm sharing, but it's not my work alone. Arstad Fadli is our amazing UX UI designer. So all of the screens that you'll see today, all of the products, the hypercert images are his work. Akshata Meshram is our backend developer. She also works on developing the smart contracts. Erin Maginnis works on product. Musamil Mustak is the front-end developer. Rashmi Abhijiri is the back-end developer. Shadi Eldamadi is the co-founder of Holonym and OpSci and works on business development for both. And Lori Hawk is the co-founder of Orchid and one of our advisors. So OpSci is, as an organization, we're a web-native community of scientists, engineers, activists, building public goods to streamline research and innovation. We envision the future of science to be open, pluralistic, and impact-driven. And we're one of the first DeSci DAOs. So we've been pioneering in this space since 2020. There are a few fun facts about us. We have 73 verified accounts on Verse so far. We have dispersed over 20,000 in grants and fellowship funding to support DeSci research. And we've won over 6 ETH Global Hackathon categories. So I'm super excited to share this with you. But before I do, I want to give you some background on OpSci and Verse. So I'll share Shadi's story. Shadi Eldamadi is the co-founder of OpSci. And at one point, he needed to archive large data sets, and he used Filecoin. He realized there was no good way to authenticate data sets on the blockchain. And so he put together a team at ETH Denver and did a hackathon in 2022. And this team took pre-existing Web 2 tool, Orchid. How many of you all are using Orchid? Okay, awesome. They were able to port Orchid onto the blockchain. So From this, they won over 6 ETH Global Hackathon categories, but they found that there was this large gap in verifying and authenticating research and data sets on the blockchain, which is where our Verse team comes in. So our team came together to build a solution to verify identities on public blockchains. And so now there is Verse, which is the ultra megatron of that little project that they started at the hackathon. And so far, OpSci has been able to bring together over 700 members in a DAO. And collectively, we've been able to bring 500 terabytes of high quality open access scientific data to the blockchain. The OpSci community is made up of researchers, engineers, business people, scholars, and amazing scientists like you. We have partnerships with many organizations, some of which are Holonym, Filecoin, Gitcoin, Protocol Labs, and Kernel. So I want to make sure I'm tailoring this presentation to the audience. So if you'd be so kind as to scan this QR code and tell me what type of scientist you are. If not, you can participate and go with your best effort or put other. Or you can go to mentimeter.com if it's not working and there's a code at the bottom there. So I'll give about 30 seconds to put your answers in. Okay, how are we doing? Good on time there? Okay. All right, so let's look at what we have. Ooh, all right, that's good. Step over and interpret. All right, we have a lot of not a scientist, biologists. Okay, we've got 15% neuroscientists, 20% engineers, 10 biologists, statistics, math, 10 computer science, a couple of chemists, social scientists, and medical providers, and then a little bit of other. Okay, great. So it's a pretty diverse spread here. Nice to know who we all are. So now that we know who is here with us today, let's get a little bit into the world of Verse and see how OpSci is using blockchain technology to change the nature of how scientists do work, how they support each other, and how they get funding. So who's excited?
Woo.
I said, who's excited?
Yay!
Oh, thank you. Okay. So welcome to Verse. This is a web dApp for verifying, tracking, and rewarding impact in decentralized science communities. In other words, it's like the first white and yellow pages for science in Web3. So remember back in the day when you wanted to find an individual, you looked at the white pages and you were like, okay, that's their phone number. Or if you wanted a business, you were like, okay, I'm gonna look it up in the yellow pages. Pretty equivalent, but for Web3. So we have on the left societies pages. So each society will have a profile, but the cool thing is it'll have its impact ranked here. So you can see its ranking, its impact, number of members, number of hypercerts minted within that community, and followers. The community can also put its own bio and whatever information it wants to present itself as. The other piece, which is the white pages, are individual pages. So as an individual, you can sign up on Verse and you can create your own photo, you can link your accounts, you can create how you want to represent yourself. There's example profiles here. There's linked accounts, date that you joined, different affiliations, education, and qualifications. And so we're here at this conference today to talk about the potential for blockchain technology to advance science. And the point of Verse is to create a public, decentralized registry of verified academic contributions and academics by linking all of their off-chain credentials onto the blockchain. So everything is in one spot. So how does Verse solve your biggest needs as a scientist? Remember when I shared the 3 things that OpSci community members said were scientists' biggest barriers? Well, the rest of the presentation, I'm going to show how Verse provides a solution and transforms how scientists and soon you will be able to leverage Web3 to produce more impactful science. So the first one is discoverability and reputation. To be discoverable, scientists have to generally make discoveries. They also have to contribute their ideas in some way, communicate those. So they're essentially building a brand as a scientist, whether they're mindfully doing it or not. So some things that might make up a scientist's reputation are the areas that they work in, the conferences they choose to attend, the level of openness of their science, and their contributions. So how do they communicate this? Is it through a blog? Is it through mentoring? Maybe other ways. So personal branding is really important to make your science more discoverable, to track your impacts. So Verse allows you to kind of solve this problem by just putting it all in one place and letting people see you. So we made it super easy to be able to express yourself and to link all your academic credentials in one place. This is an example of a personal profile that you can connect all of your Web 2 pages and get credit for the work that you're doing. So it's got demographic information, your linked accounts, different societies that you're a member of, and different hypercerts, which measure the impact that you're making in those communities. So the second question is, what about funding for scientists? This was the #1 struggle that they had. So we're using hypercerts to track scientific contributions to allow scientists to get rewarded for their work. So hypercerts allow you to get rewarded for your actual impact and for funders to know immediately what your impact is so that credit is given where credit is due. Lastly, collaboration and community was the last need for scientists. So the old way of doing science was maybe a scientist in Prague and a scientist in Istanbul, and they're both working on the same problem. One of them has one piece of the puzzle, the other has the other, and they're never coming together. So neither of them figures it out. The other piece down in the middle is, maybe they're working in different ends of the world and they're just not connecting. They can't find each other, right? The last one is maybe they're stuck in old academic structures where they think that they have to compete instead of collaborate. The Verse way of doing science looks a lot different. So maybe our scientist from Istanbul actually is able to upload a large data set that she's been working on, and she's minted an impact certificate immediately for making this contribution to her community. Maybe she also is able to connect with a wide array of researchers from around the world and then build from joining individual societies her own unique networks within that. So this is my favorite part. This are the Verse features. If you want to look at this again, I sent a text in the Telegram group for DeSci London. But this is pretty exciting. I want to give credit to Arsad for his beautiful design here. But some of the pieces, maybe I'll just go over here. So this is your profile. You can curate your own portable profile. Of course, put your information there. You can configure your academic persona however you want to represent yourself. So we can also help with with that. And then you can link your accounts. So here we have an ORCID account linked to GitHub, Discord, and Twitter. And then if you go over here, this is for the society part of it, the yellow pages. So you can browse from a list of societies, or you can join or add your own society. You can also then get minted your hypercerts, so you can receive funding for the work that you're doing based on the impact you're actually making. So these are some example hypercerts. And so Verse is also Sybil resistant for communities. So that means there's no bot impersonations or misinformation coming into your community. It's open source, so you or anyone else can create their own registry. It's on-chain and interoperable. So back over here. All right, so would you agree that verified reputation, community, and funding through Verse would allow you to elevate your scientific contributions? Raise your hands if you think so. And if not, it's totally okay. I take no offense. You just heard about this today. Okay, well, if so, I invite you to claim your Verse profile now. So it's totally free to claim your profile, and it's super easy to get started. So I'll give you a few minutes to scan the QR code. We just ask basic information that'll go on that profile, like your name and your email address and a couple of your academic profiles that you might want to link. So I'll just give, just give maybe 2 minutes to fill that out. Have some funny lines that I might lob at you while you're doing it. If I feel so, yeah.
While people are doing this,
Yeah, sure.
hypercerts, can you talk more about that, how that works?
Yeah, so hypercerts are a tool we're using to measure your impact. So essentially, you can measure your impact in real time, the impact that you're making for your community. So an example would be if you upload a large data set and then you're in a neuroimaging community, and that data set is super useful to the community, and many people use it, and they can mark that that has been impactful, and then we'll mint you the hypercert that says, oh, your contribution, your data set was super impactful. And from that, the great feature of this is that investors and grant organizations and the organizations can get on and they can see who's making a large impact and the type of impact that you're making. So it's kind of like a tracking mechanism.
Is it something that you hold in your wallet, like a co-op or something?
Oh, yeah, it's something that'll be listed on your profile. And I can get more information too about how it will look if it's in your wallet. Yeah. Yes.
How do you get the funding bit of it?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think we're still working through that. But it's the hypercerts will be used as sort of a key to determine where funding is distributed. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you do the KYC process? How do you know that users could link to the others' accounts to verify themselves?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'm saying that suppose I use my friend's GitHub account to link to my profile. How could you tell that is me or that's my friend's?
Yeah, okay. So I'm not the developer on this, but I would like to point you all to somebody that can answer all the technical questions. So when we finish with this slide, I can link you to our website and you can connect with all of our developers and they kind of know all the back end. Yes.
One of your key points is to track the impact a researcher has in their respective community. How exactly do you evaluate that impact?
That's a great question. So that impact will be evaluated by the communities themselves. So we think that, for example, the Neuroscience Society are the ones that best know how to measure impact for their field. So it's actually a collaborative effort of the community to develop the metrics that they would use to measure impact. So it could be, it could look like publications, it could look like, data that's shared. It could look however the community deems is most impactful for them. Mentorship, it just kind of depends. Yes.
Is the same true for reputation as well? Is that based on the community, or do you offer some metric of that?
For reputation, yeah, I think reputation is partly built from the actual profile and persona, and then the other from the impact. Like everything on that profile page is sort of the collective reputation that you'll develop. Yeah, and then the communities themselves actually develop a reputation as well, as you sort of saw on that society page. Yeah.
Does stuff on ORCID translate to more reputation for a user? So if you made a user account and you over the next year or so have loads of papers, will your reputation increase without having to interact on the app itself? Is it something that's autonomous, or is it something that happens?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, everything sort of updates in real time. So yeah. Okay. Thank you for your questions. Thanks for your interest in this. I'll just leave you here. If you want to get further involved, again, we have a whole team with diverse skills that can answer technical questions. You can join the Verse waitlist like you just did before. You can apply to list your society. You can fund Versus development if you're interested in the work we're doing, and beta test it for early access. So if you want to find out more, we have our webpage there. Maybe the thing is in the way of the QR code, but yeah, thank you so much for listening. And
Would you take questions?
yeah, of course.
Any more questions? Or, yeah.
To what extent are you developing these algorithms for determining reputation and determining impact? Is that separate to these like ESG standards that are being developed at Critical Labs, or are you collaborating closely with them to kind of take straight from that? And you're just building the infrastructure for this to be used?
Yeah, I think I will connect you with our development team. I'm sorry about the back end stuff. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, all.
I just talked to Charlie, and the idea is also around packages that it is like the standard that we develop. That this is like something that is used here. So it's also something that can travel between platforms. And so different people can like use them, and this will be compatible with that.
Any other questions or?
Final question? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next talk would start in about 5 minutes, exploring the decentralized AI stack. Yes, and perhaps more talk
Thank you.